This incident was prefaced by an armed robbery that we reported to you 2 days ago. In that case, the victim was shot in the arm at close range by an assailant known to him as 38-year-old Billings resident Richard Ramirez. That information was passed to our officers, and we have been actively looking for him since. On April 14th at approximately 11 p.m., a patrol officer who had responded to the original robbery of a day earlier was in the area of 5th and South 33rd looking for Ramirez. While on patrol, that officer saw a red passenger car leaving the area with 4 occupants and saw that Ramirez was sitting in the right rear seat. The officer reported the situation to the police dispatcher, and other officers were sent to assist. While waiting for backup to arrive, the officer followed the car to the area of 5th, South, and State, where that vehicle quickly turned into an alley and stopped. The officer pulled in behind the car, got out, and approached from the right rear. When he got to the car, the officer opened the door to talk to the occupants, and specifically Ramirez. At this time, this was an investigatory stop only, and no weapons were displayed. Our preliminary investigation shows that the officer ultimately gave multiple commands to the occupants to not move their hands, or to not move and keep their hands in sight. At some point, Mr. Ramirez ignored the officer's orders and made a downward reaching movement. This movement resulted in the officer drawing his weapon and firing 3 rounds, striking Ramirez in the torso. Ramirez was treated at the scene by responding officers and subsequently taken to Billings Clinic, where he died of his wounds. The investigation continues. Pursuant to policy, the officer has been placed on administrative leave. An administrative investigation has been initiated, and a coroner's inquest will take place in the future as required by law. We are not releasing the officer's name at this time because of safety concerns. We are aware of several overt threats against police personnel, and we're taking appropriate measures. We will release the officer's name in the near future and when safety concerns have subsided. And with that, I'll take questions.
Was there a weapon retrieved from the vehicle?
We're conducting a search right now, pursuant to a search warrant, so I don't have that information yet.
The overt threat to whoever, was it directed at this officer, or was it
police in general, I think, and we had some social media stuff. We had some, comments just in general. This is a very, very emotionally charged situation at this point. I understand we're not even 24 hours out, but they were significant enough that we're taking steps to make sure that everybody's safe and secure, and things settle down a little bit.
And just to be clear, was it overt threat related to the shooting of this
Yes.
person?
Can you tell us how long the officer has been with the department for?
I really don't know off the top of my head. I'll provide that information when we release his name.
Was there anybody else in that vehicle that was maybe arrested on warrants or anything like that?
There were 3 other occupants in the vehicle, and to my knowledge, nobody is arrested at this point.
Can you talk about the nature of the injuries and how many times he was shot, maybe where?
3 times to the torso, and as far exactly where they were, I can't tell you, nor can I comment on the exact cause of death and the location of those shots, but obviously fatal.
And can you kind of speak to the training that the officers go through to, figure out what to do in situations like that?
Well, we try to train as realistic as we can, given some of the problems that we have training real and with real people. We have a simulator that we use. We train live fire as much as we can. We use communication skills, self-defense tactics, things that we do with our vehicles. There's a whole myriad of topics and subjects related to managing, mitigating, and surviving violent encounters.
Does Richard Ramirez have any sort of previous criminal history other than the robbery from this weekend?
Well, he was a suspect in the robbery. We did not make an arrest on that. He does have some history with us locally. Exactly what it is, I don't know, mainly misdemeanors. Things we can talk about that a bit later. Lieutenant Iflin has some information he could probably share with you there, but nothing that jumps out at you right now.
And he's from, Ramirez is from Billings?
It's from Billings, yes.
Were drugs involved?
Excuse me?
Was there like drugs involved? Like why was he robbing the guy on Sunday night?
Well, again, that investigation is ongoing as well. I can tell you from my experience, anytime we have crimes like this, some sort of drugs involved, whether it's a drug deal gone bad, whether I'm trying to steal from somebody, something of that sort. That information I don't have. The search warrant that's taking place right now, I don't know. It may or may not find drugs and paraphernalia in that car. We won't know that until they're completed. I don't believe that that Mr. Ramirez had any drugs on him at the time. Of course, we were tending to his medical condition, not real concerned with what was in the pockets and stuff at the time, so that'll be some additional follow-up our detectives will do.
So you said you're searching the vehicle. Are you searching Ramirez's residence as well?
That'll be a decision that the detectives make based on what they find and information. We are talking specifically about an officer-involved shooting, and the incident in question took place in an alley in a car. And so that's where we're focusing our attention. If the investigation takes us elsewhere, then it will, but right now that's where the scene is, and that's where our focus is.
And you said Ramirez is how old again?
38.
Okay, thank you.
And how many officers were on scene when the shooting took place?
When the shooting took place, there was just the officer who fired the shots, and then shortly thereafter, the backup officers arrived.
So he was alone in his car?
The officer?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is this his first type of involvement in an officer shooting the officer? Is this the first time that he's discharged his weapon in the line of duty?
He has discharged his weapon in the line of duty?
Sorry, previously? Was that the question?
Yes.
Can you give any details on that?
No, we'll release that later. That's for those security reasons.